Hey everybody, I'm Connor. Welcome to the Phantom Zone. Who else is here tonight?
Arlen Haro.
Eric Fedorchak.
Chris Smith?
Get away from your microphone.
Chris is being
Jesus.
sucked into his microphone.
Seriously.
Okay, time for this week's news.
What the hell are the news items? I totally forgot.
So we're doing
They're in
all
the
extras because I'm saving Marvel stuff for when we cover a Marvel show later this weekend. But we will do speed round
Final
first.
second part of Iron Fist.
God damn. No, that's when we eventually do the second part of Luke Cage, because that never happened. That recording is lost to all time. As it says in the chat, they're all extra stories, and I divided them between speed stories and stories that will take a little bit longer. The first should be rather simple. I imagine it might just be me and Eric talking about this. Black Mirror is getting a season 5.
I
I'm
have
so
yet
excited.
to fully dive into Black Mirror, and
Connor, what are you doing?
I know,
You need to.
I know. Trust me.
Here's
Because the more I hear about it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
so here's the thing.
Watch the first episode of the
Yes.
first season. If
That's
you
the one
are
where
not hooked,
It's the one where the senator has to fuck a pig,
The
right?
Prime
It's
Minister.
the Prime Minister of England.
Yeah,
Here's the
I saw that
Yes.
one.
Okay, so if you liked that one, prepare for 20. No, wait a second. How many? 13
there's-
more hours of torture.
Yes. Well, no, there's
No, and
then,
like,
it would be
it
11.
remind-
Yeah.
It'd be 11
People
more hours
said-
of torture.
People are like, oh, it's like Tales from the Crypt. I'm like, no, this is fucking Outer Limits
No,
drugs, okay?
it's Twilight Zone, except it kicks you in the
Yeah.
balls when it's trying to give you the moral at the
Yeah.
end.
It kicks you in the balls and then it electrocutes you.
Yes.
It's
Awesome.
it's like King.com almost.
Like if you want to dive into one of the meaner episodes, you should check out the Christmas special.
Yep. Or Man
Because that
Against
one-
Fire.
Yes.
Man Against Fire is it's an episode of television that I remember thinking, oh, this is something that 100% will or could happen, and I am terrified by this, but I can't look away.
Yeah.
Because it's just like there are episodes of the show that they go beyond your nightmares, and they go into like existential dread of like, oh wow, it's not probable, it's possible, and that's what makes some of them just utterly
That's what makes the show work so well, is that it's not like this far-flung sci-fi future. It's like, oh, that's like 10 or 15 years away from actually happening.
Yeah, like
Like
the
Entire
American
History of
Idol.
You?
Yeah, that one's great.
yeah.
The American Idol episode is maybe the least probable.
Yeah. Well, that one's a little bit too far dystopian future.
Yeah, and it kind of suggests that there's like a post-nuclear war thing going on.
Oh, okay.
Like, so that one's there are extreme circumstances. But like every episode is like, there's one episode that takes place like in the modern day, and it's called what is it?
Well, there's a couple. There's Shut Up and Dance.
Shut Up and Dance. That's the one I'm thinking of, where
Yeah.
this kid,
Oh.
he gets blackmailed because of things on his computer. That's all I'll say about that. And he gets blackmailed into doing all kinds of crazy shit.
I was gonna say, don't say
Yeah.
too much, because if I'm gonna start watching, I don't want to hear anything else.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing: we could tell you the basic premise of every episode, and it wouldn't matter.
Because the third
yeah.
act is gonna turn around and fucking knock me over the head.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay. No, it is had my interest for a while. I just haven't found the time, or I keep forgetting to just sit down and just absorb it all.
And you
It's
don't
one of
need
those
to-
things that once you start watching, you're
Yeah.
not going to stop for
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
until your heart stops. Like, I can't do this anymore.
you
This
will have a
hurts.
point where you're like, I can't watch anymore. I have to turn this
Yeah.
off. Which is
Yeah.
fine. And also, like, there's so many interesting things. Like, the creator Charlie Booker, he has said that you maybe shouldn't watch it in order. That like,
Oh, interesting.
with the exception of the episode called, is it Black Museum?
Black Museum. Yeah.
With the exception of Black Museum, you should watch them in like random order. Like, the best way to watch them would be like you spin a wheel and it just gives you a random episode. Because there isn't really a uniting thread. So like you should really just watch it in random order, and I agree with that kind of. Except for Black Museum, that's the only one. That and the Christmas
You have to watch
special.
last of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Christmas special though is a really great way to kind of put yourself through the paces of what the series is going to be, just because they're all connected by what, John Hamm's character?
Yes, John Hamm is the. Yeah, that one is actually a good one to introduce to newer viewers. Like, I think that's a good one to start off with. If you really want to show someone like how dark it can get, White Bear is another good one.
White Bear, or what was the episode that you and I both had to stop at from this last season? The one with the woman who was the architect.
Oh yes, with the fucking pizza, with the pizza cars.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it's one where like it's a point in the future where they can read your memories from like a specific day, and that's how all crimes are solved. And sometimes it's not even by like the government; it's by like insurance companies because they have the right to like read your memories and stuff. And like that episode explores that idea, and it goes some places that like I had to stop watching. I had to turn it off, and Eric had the same reaction that I did because. And here's the thing: I say that the episode right before that one, Crocodile. That's the name of this episode. The episode right before that one is also really fucked up, and it deals with kind of similar subject matter. And that one ends really dark. So the fact that this next one was so bad that I had to stop watching, that tells you just how, like, it just goes there. Every episode likes to swing for the fences.
But it's something Arlen had mentioned either in the chat or maybe it was in a prior episode of An After Dark, how since the show has been picked up by Netflix, there's now actually white mirror episodes, as you put it, where there's actually, like, it's hopeful and happy. Like, there's some conflict, but it actually shows how technology, if used in the right way, could actually improve people's lives.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're,
in very fantastic ways.
Yeah, there are two of them. I can never remember
San
Junipero and Hang the DJ. Which is one that you would actually expect to be not as light, but no, that one is. Those are both delightful episodes.
Yes,
and I realized
Hang the DJ especially.
Yeah, and I realized their importance more the second time that they did a white mirror, because I was kind of coming from the perspective of, but I want it to be dark and I want it to like kill me on the inside. That's why I watch it, but.
I want to witness my feelings die.
I need to go through pain to become stronger. That was my feeling about it.
That was the thing when my wife and I were watching the Hang the DJ episode. We kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and when it gave us a happy ending, we're like,
it's kind of the Game of Thrones, not last season, but the season before. It's the effect of that season where things were starting to turn up. And they were kind of dodging the formula. It's that sort of feeling of, oh, this is how it feels when things go good. This is this is what
joy feels like.
Right. This is what happens when characters that I've been watching for 6 years finally start to have things turn around. And it's a very similar effect. So yeah, watch if you haven't seen Black Mirror. Watch it. It's not too late. There's only been, let me think,
4 seasons.
Yeah, and the first 3 were 3 episodes.
I
think. No, it's like...
No, the first season was 3, and then I think season 2 and 3 were definitely a bit longer. I want to say there were 6 episodes each, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like it's 3, and then I want to say... No, I want to say it's 3 of 3, Christmas special... and then 2 half seasons of 6.
Yeah, you're right. Because
like
I always forget that the Christmas special was kind of part of season 3.
Yeah, but it's also it's when Netflix. I think it's how Netflix decided to do it. Like they did the Christmas special. That's the first one where they like put their money into it, and you can tell. Like that's another thing. There is a visual difference between the Netflix episode and the British episodes a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still the same basic level of quality in terms of production, but you can tell, like, you know how British stuff just looks different. Like when you watch Doctor Who, it just has this weird like sense of being slightly off, which is, I think, is partially why people are so terrified by it sometimes, because it doesn't quite look the same. The first few seasons of Black Mirror have that, definitely.
Season 2 had 4 episodes, and the 4th episode was White Christmas. So it's right. And then season 3 was 6, and then this season was whatever amount. But that's the other thing with season 2, Connor. You can see Haley Atwell, or isn't that her name, and General Hux in a relationship in the first episode.
Hux, you can see Toby Kebbell.
He's in episode 1, isn't he?
No, he's in History of You, which is.
That episode destroyed me. That's the entire History of You. It's the 3rd episode of the first season.
It's so
good.
It's
so bad, but it's so good.
Like, here's the thing: we love the show, but at the same time we hate it, which is something that no other show can do to you. Like, it's an experience you don't get anymore.
No.
I believe it.
Like, the closest thing I can describe it to is when you listen to like a really shitty punk band, but you like their music so much knowing that they're shitty, kind of. Like, you know that they're not trying to make you happy. You know that they're going out of their way to produce things in a really just like terrible way. Like,
you're describing bands that I absolutely hate.
Right.
My metaphor would be when you listen to good sad music when you've gone through a breakup or something traumatic.
Yeah, that's also
like, it's good, but it's also doing terrible things to you because it's already brought you to a bad place when you're already in a bad place.
It's like Hurt. Johnny Cash is Hurt.
Yeah, kind of. Like, it's just watch it. It's worth it.
Yes.
And the fact that there's a 5th season coming out.
Yeah, I will. I say we move on though, because that was you guys are right. It was just you two.
Yeah. It's just us selling people.
It.
William Friedkin's Devil and Amorth. Again, the speed rounds. Let's try to keep it. We'll try to keep it fast.
What is this?
So it's a documentary about William Friedkin in what's his name? The director of The Exorcist.
Yeah.
That was William Friedkin.
That's right. With William Peter Blatty's involved. I can't remember.
I guess.
Was or not. But yeah, it's basically a documentary about the true story that inspired The Exorcist. I think I confused Friedkin and Blatty. That's why I had a brain fart there.
Now we're kind of in my wheelhouse here. Here's the thing, like, the true stories about these exorcism movies turn out to be much less fun to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose is a very dramatized event, a dramatized version of the actual events, which possibly involves a parent starving their daughter to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And, like, the photos of Emily Rose at the time of her death are like, she doesn't even look fucking human anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
So, I mean, this could be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely be, because it's about a priest, I guess. And
it's William Friedkin returning to his wheelhouse.
And I think this is already. I think they already made a fictional account of this, where it's like it was another movie based on the real guy, and it was the Right with Anthony Hopkins, I think.
Maybe.
Oh.
It might have been that one, or it might have been the one with
like based on true story, like the only authorized exorcism by the fucking Vatican.
Catholic Church.
I think that might be it, actually. That is the Right is the one with Hopkins.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, this could be interesting. It's a documentary, so I'm in. I didn't know about this until I saw the poster.
I haven't seen a documentary about the making of a movie that has disappointed me yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
and for those who have still slept on, what the hell is it called? The Island of Dr. Moreau documentary.
Oh God.
That's a fucking ride.
When he sneaks on as the dog man.
helping to burn down the set.
Yeah.
He's in the fucking movie. A fire director's in the movie. Richard Stanley is like actually a very good director he directed Mark 13 Hardware. Dust Devil rules.
Yeah.
Dust Devil's so fucking weird.
Yeah. It is.
And then Hollywood mind fucked him out of the business. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of that movie and Val Kilmer.
Yeah, and Marlon Brando, and just you can go on and on with.
I've read the script, but I want to make some changes. The third act, I want to take off my head and reveal that I'm actually a dolphin.
So good.
Oh, this I'm gonna put. I don't want to take this ice bucket off my head. No, it's very refreshing.
Oh, that and just the midget, whatever. Not even midget. I don't even know what. Was it a midget with a Pejoria, or was it?
Yeah, like Marlon Brando saw this guy like on the internet or on TV and was like,
I want him. I need him around me all the time.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the movie, and I'm going to bring with me.
Yeah, and then hearing about how Fairuza Balk wanted to get off of the movie, and they were saying like, "Nope, you can't. Sorry, contractual obligation."
They were like, "If you leave this movie, we will ruin you forever."
Yeah, yeah.
The movie's a disaster.
Yeah.
But this will. Here's the thing: there's gonna be a slant to this that's gonna lean towards, this is all real. The exorcism is real, and granted, like it's well documented that I'm a believer in the supernatural and paranormal to an extent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But exorcisms are fucking weird because, like, I think actually the last exorcism movie, like, expressed how I feel about exorcisms the best because, like, it's this dude who goes to a family's house and he's, like, rigged all these fucking gimmicks and setups to make it look like he's doing something when it's really just a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people with fucking psychic shops and Ouija boards.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know, like, Friedkin is not... Have you ever seen interviews with Friedkin? He doesn't bullshit, if that makes sense. Like, he's not the kind of guy who's gonna just take things as he sees them. Like, and they haven't even released a trailer for this, but I don't imagine he's talking to Father AMORTH and he's like, "Oh, I totally just believe everything you just said."
I mean, I hope it plays out more like My Amityville Horror than anything else.
Yeah, I would like that.
That would be a great angle. Yeah.
And for those who haven't seen that, it's from the viewpoint of the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck, I can't remember the family name. It's not DeFeo. DeFeo murder. It's not DeFeo because the DeFeo murders happened first.
Yeah, the DeFeo murders are they're definitely why the father chose to move there. That's the one thing we do know. I do not remember the name of the family though that
it's the Lutzes.
Films are based off of.
Yeah, it's in the perspective of Daniel Lutz, and it's less about all the shenanigans that may or may not have happened in that house, and more about like what it's like to be the child of a celebrity family who made headlines with this outrageous claim, and how it has like ruined his life, and the fact that like he like all this stuff that he claims to have seen. I think even you said it could be hit like a child's brain trying to comprehend all this nonsense going on around him and him fabricating things to cope.
Yeah, it could be. But then I hear the story about the pig man that he saw in the window, and I'm like, I kind of have to believe that he actually did see that because
and here's the thing. I've said it before. No one on earth can look at someone and say, you didn't see that because you don't know. You weren't there. I will never argue with someone if they said I saw something weird. I'd be like, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm totally
it's really
believe some things.
Yeah.
But as you guys revealed to me, the famous picture in the Amityville house was faked of the little girl in the doorway.
Here's the thing: a lot of what's surrounding the Warrens is fake. So.
Yeah, well, because the Warrens are con artists, which
exactly
they're carnies.
Yeah, which I mean, I like that they turn them into these like moral do-gooders in the movies.
I like the fact that they're basically fucking religious superheroes in the Conjuring movies. They're kind of awesome.
Yeah,
this fucking evil like this evil ghost fighting team.
Yeah,
Bible
it's
man.
pretty cool. They have a Asian sidekick. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the inevitable Conjuring Insidious crossover where like Specs and what's his face show up too.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I actually want that right fucking now.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
I'm a huge defender of the Insidious movie, except the second one. The second one's kind of shit.
Yeah, and
well, hey, speaking of Insidious things, let's get on to the Tommy Wiseau movie.
Oh, so I put this trailer in the chat. It's for a movie called Scary Love.
It's just, is it a sequel to The Room? Because that's what it seems like.
No, so my understanding is it's his take on Blade Runner. Blade Runner is the one that Sestero wrote, and they're both in.
Here's the thing with Tommy Wiseau. I understand he's a weird man who may be older than he says. I understand that he is probably utterly talentless and has no idea what he's doing. However, we have created this monster and we have to deal with it.
Yep.
Right.
On one hand, though, I feel really good for some guy who is like, if he just genuinely wanted to be in Hollywood and looked at as like, hey, you're a filmmaker, my guy, and like just that kind of life. Good for fucking him, because if he had to play us the whole time, congratulations. You played me like a fiddle. Here's your money.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if he actually is playing people. Like, interviews I've seen with him. And that's why he's so fucking
interesting.
Right.
Yeah, because interviews I've seen with him, like, he seems to have that, like, genuine, like, I don't know, surprise that people are this interested in what he's doing, and excitement. James Franco, he doesn't realize people are laughing at him, not with him.
And James Franco told a story about him that kind of makes me believe that he's sincere, where they're watching The Disaster Artist together.
Right.
And Tommy, at the end of it, Tommy's like, I don't know, I don't like the lighting too much. Dark times. And then, like, James Franco looks over and realizes that Tommy didn't take his sunglasses off the entire film.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm like, the man's a buffoon. And I don't think he knows he's a buffoon.
No, because... Okay, I think I've expressed this theory on here before, is that I'm pretty sure he was in the Russian mob and he got into a car accident, and that's when he retired from the mob, and he moved to France to start.
But who knows if that's even true?
No, that's
who knows if that's even true?
You can make up any number of backstories about Tommy Wiseau.
He's fucking. You could say he's D.B. Cooper, and people are like, okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Because nobody can confirm or deny it.
You could say he's from the fucking moon, and people would be like, well, maybe.
I can't disprove that.
Well, people on the moon famously like spoons, so...
Right. But, and I don't know, Connor, do you actually see the clip of the next movie? Like, any of it?
I think I did. And, I mean, it's fucking Tommy Wiseau. Like, it's just, I'm like, okay, here we go.
But there's nothing to it. That's the thing.
Here's the thing. It looks like he's trying to do Blade Runner.
Yes, it does.
Which I'm like, okay, Tommy.
I mean, here's the thing. The Room was almost a bit of vampire, so.
Right.
That's a good point.
Like, I'm okay with if he does Blade Runner, and he somehow.
Like, watch him like just fucking accidentally step over his own toes and make something that's genuinely entertaining.
Probably.
That's
make the Philip K. Dick novel.
he does like a straight adaptation, and it's like really good.
The only director that could capture the amount of pills that Philip K. Dick was on when he wrote the story in film form.
The man who is just naturally that fucking elevated all the time.
I mean, it could happen. Or it will just be fucking ridiculous.
I think that's more likely.
And Tommy Wiseau is one of the weirdest figures to ever pop up in Hollywood, and the fact that like was he at the Oscars?
Yes, he was.
So.
That shouldn't have happened.
No, they were there supporting the writers of the movie. Because they were there plus ones, I guess. Which is insane that they even got there. They were even there was insane.
To which my point is, like, if he's sincere and this is his actual, like, solid effort, I feel nothing but joy for the man, because like that's got to be fucking incredible.
Yeah.
He must have been rock hard for days after that. Like,
well, they cut away to him for a reaction shot. I guarantee that's on his website now.
And he seemed to become a little bit self-aware, because I think he was joking on Twitter asking Mark Hamill for extra tickets to the Oscars.
Christ.
But anyway, what is the next thing?
Lost in Space trailer.
Yeah, main stories. Yeah, the full trailer.
All right. I did a 180 on Lost in Space. It looks fine.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks
expensive.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Oh my God.
Netflix ain't playing.
No.
They're not playing at all.
It almost made me nervous. I was like, oh my God, you're spending this much money on this?
Yeah, because here's the thing. They've been compared to HBO in terms of quality before. This is the first time I see them doing, like, HBO level budget, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like, this is as good as anything in Game of Thrones. Or, name a show that they did a lot visual effects.
This looks more Star Trek-y than I imagined it was going to, which don't have enough sci-fi that's just revolved around like discovery and exploration and stuff like that.
Well, and the cast is just good enough that it's that's not where most of the budget went.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine Parker Posey budget. It's a huge amount of money going towards her or anybody else who's in the movie. It just it looks like they might have hit all the right means and numbers.
Yeah.
Certainly towards the fucking robot whose name for some reason I can't remember, even though I had a model of him when I was little.
Robbie the robot.
There we go.
Yeah, and I like that. Like he's an alien. Like that's a cool little twist. And like, again, like you mentioned, Parker Posey. Parker Posey is playing Smith.
Yep. And that's the thing in the trailer. You get the impression that she has something to do with the robot.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting.
If she doesn't at least go like full, like a combination of both the original actor and Gary Oldman, I'm gonna be a little disappointed.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that so much. And also, it's Parker Posey who will be the shining part of our eventual Blade Trinity review. Look out for that sometime in the future.
Because I rarely get the chance, I want to plug a joke I heard in Mr. Stein's Theater. It's a bit they do before they watch the movie, and I had to do it Lost in Space. It's an episode where the satellite love went through like a wormhole, and they're kind of all over the place. So Crow and Serval walk up to Mike and go, "Hey, Mike, what's going on?" Mike's like, "I don't know. We're kind of, adrift." And he's like, "Would you call us lost?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're lost in space." And then Crow and Serval immediately come back, both dressed as Smith, just going,
so good.
The fucking best.
That's awesome.
Everybody should watch old Mr. Science Theater episodes. They're on YouTube. Go do it.
Yes.
And then watch the new season. The new season is actually great.
Yeah, it's
actually,
really
aren't
good.
the old episodes on Hulu at this point?
Yeah,
I think they might be. But like, there's been there's been a digital restoration project for MST3K for the past like 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Committed to sharing these episodes over the internet somehow. Like back east, he's relatively closer. He's in Colorado. My friend Amr has like a disc stomper full of episodes that I downloaded.
Oh, nice.
I have like I think almost every season that I just individually plucked off the internet.
Yeah.
Huh.
And a lot of them are Sci-Fi Channel rips, like they're right from TV.
Huh.
That means you have some stuff that's never actually even made it onto DVD or Blu-ray?
Nope, because
Wow.
the DVD rights for Mr. Science Theater are a fucking disaster because the
Yeah.
studios that like own those movies at the time may not exist anymore, and it might have new owners, and like rights have changed hands. They can't release seasons; they can release volumes.
So that's why because Netflix does have classic MSTK, but it's like it's a fuck show to say the least.
It's a weird grab bag.
That's the thing. It's what you can get access to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of the fucking best episodes are tied up in like rights loopholes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like you mean the Godzilla one?
Oh, what the hell was it called? Damn it.
Was it Godzilla versus Hedorah?
Yeah, probably.
I
think
remember.
so. It's got the little fucking robot. I can't remember.
Yeah, but I mean that was one that they had to re-release one of the collections because it was on I want to say collection like 15 or something, and Toho was like, no. So they had to release a 15.1 and put a different movie in place of Godzilla.
Yep, that's not surprising.
Wow.
And now that DVD set goes for a lot of money on the secondary market.
Yeah. So you want to move to Josh Trank being out of movie jail?
Well, yeah. Well, did anybody see the Prospect trailer also? Because
I watched it.
It's very similar to Lost in Space, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of the low budget version. But that one looks cool to me also. It's kind of a
space western.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. So and this is a story I've been following because I've been interested in seeing what Josh Trank does after the debacle of Fantastic Four. But Universal a while ago they greenlit a Capone movie that he wrote, and apparently Tom Hardy is going to be in it.
Okay, Tom Hardy just gets work like it falls out of the fucking sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely does.
Like when they announced him as Venom, I was like, "You're joking. There's no way he's gonna be Venom." They're like, "Oh, he's Venom."
Yeah.
It's too late now.
He seems to be everywhere and seems to be kind of a workaholic, which is kind of odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if he's going through that phase like that. Well, I mean, before Johnny Depp had his fall, like Johnny Depp did, and even I want to say Keanu Reeves at this point, where they're like doing a bunch of stuff just so they can then be like, all right, I'm just going to do whatever I want to, whenever I want to, however I want to, and I will
feel
say
like Tom
no.
Hardy's already at that point because like that would explain Taboo.
Good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
But yeah, I mean, interesting. I didn't think we'd hear from Josh Trank again so soon.
I mean,
No.
This has been in the works for a long time. And also, like, so yeah, you might have a falling out with one studio, but that doesn't necessarily mean other studios won't work with you. It's just that other studios might be hesitant to work with you. And
but
he's definitely
don't
never
forget it
working
wasn't-
for Fox again, also. That's the other thing.
And he's not going to work for Disney ever again either because he lost
Yeah.
that job because of how bad
Yeah.
things went with Fox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any job that he had at the moment was gone, definitely.
However, like
Yeah.
the set reports, there's a lot of blame to be shifted on him
Yes.
because apparently, like, there was times where he just fucking checked out and like stopped caring, stopped showing up to work, would show up reeking of marijuana. Like,
Well, and they destroyed the house that they were renting for
Yeah.
the time of the production. So, yeah.
it
Yeah,
seems like this was
some,
very self-inflicted. So I can only.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it also feels like this is, and I can't remember the timeline exactly, but everything I heard, it sounded like that was after Fox took the movie away from him a little bit.
Okay. I mean, that's still no reason to act like a
It's
petulant child
true.
and
Yeah,
destroy
you
a
still
house that
shouldn't-
isn't yours.
You still shouldn't act out to $1 billion movie studio
That's-
because
Yeah,
like,
that's fair. I completely agree. It's just like
You don't bite
kinda
the hand
get
that
it,
feeds
though.
you.
Exactly.
I agree with that, but I kind of like. It's not the kind of thing where they kind of change the movie a little bit. It's,
Oh, no, they took creative control away from
Yeah,
him
they,
and turned
like-
it into a movie that wasn't his.
yeah, they completely the movie to use a very
there's
strong wording.
There's a point in that movie where you can actually like feel where there'd be like a seam line
Yep.
or like a fucking perforated edge where the movie was torn in half and then stitched back together.
It's
kind
right
of like,
after. Go ahead.
I was going to say kind of like Arlen's metaphor earlier about sewing a dead rat into someone's stomach.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very similar thing happened. But no, it's right after. Spoilers for Van Forstick. At some point, Storm, the Elder Storm, he dies, and that's when it happens. That's
It's like it's basically right before the time jump where it's like 1 year later. It's like, oh, this is a new movie.
yeah. Well,
This is a
that
brand
too.
new film.
That too. That part feels like stitched on, and then I think anything with Doom blowing up the heads, that feels like Trank to me. Again, I fucking love that scene. I love that scene so much.
Second time in 2 weeks it's come up.
It's because it's such a good scene.
Even if, like I said, he looks like a lime green C-3PO.
It doesn't matter. People's heads explode in a PG-13 movie. I was shocked. I was visibly shocked. And here's the thing, I saw it at a midnight screening. There were parents who brought 4-year-olds because they didn't know what movie they were going to see, apparently.
No. Oh no.
And I've been in theaters when kids are like reacting very poorly to things. There are kids who reacted very poorly to Daisy Ridley entering that mirror.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that.
So like, and I've seen some bad reactions, and this was bad. So
That fills me with joy.
yeah.
Don't be a dumbass parent and bring your babies to fucking PG-13 rated R movies.
No. Don't be a bad parent and bring your parents to the movies at all.
Well, that
Be a
too.
bad parent and bring your parents to the movie.
Yeah, let
Yes.
them rot at home. Yes.
But yeah, Capone, the movie's called Fonzo. I'm
Called
into
Capone.
it.
Truman Capone.
No,
It's about a horse who's a monster.
I'm not Italian. If anybody can't guess, no.
I'm gonna run a criminal empire.
God damn it. God fucking damn it. But no, Fonzo, which is the title of the film. I'm into it.
I like gangster movies. And
yeah.
I still haven't seen that movie where Tom Hardy plays those twins.
Yeah, I haven't either because I heard it was really bad. So, yeah.
I watched some clips of it, and you can't understand half of what Tom Hardy says because his Cockney is dialed up to 1,000.
Yeah, I believe it.
He's like, oh, hey,
God damn.
what? and then his twin is the exact opposite. He just mumbles the whole time.
Yeah, that's kind of why. That's part of why I stopped watching Taboo a little bit too, because it just became him in the most British accent.
I can see where people complain about Tom Hardy mumbling, but most of the time I understand what he's saying, and he's still a great actor. So
yeah, he's still good. So yeah, I'm into this. Tom Hardy's on it, so that's the thing, I guess.
Yep, I'm in.
Yeah. So I guess the next one is Mackenzie Davis is going to be the lead.
We're getting a Terminator 6.
I know.
This fucking franchise won't die.
Because the last one was so successful.
Well, yeah. So
Genesis.
this one,
Wait,
Genesis.
Hold on. Wait. Was it successful?
No. Okay.
No.
So worldwide, it didn't do.
I'll pull up the exact numbers.
It was. Yeah. It was not what they wanted. I will say that.
Well, I mean, was it what was the one before this? Terminator Revelations or something retarded?
Terminator Salvation, which is
Salvation.
And Salvations is way better than Genesis.
Yeah, I'll
even
say
though
this.
they both suck.
Salvation. It's not that bad. It's not that
that's-
bad.
What I read about Salvation was they were trying something different, and they did it poorly.
Got to hang out in the fucking future that they talked about for so long.
Yeah.
And that is the coolest part about it because
Yeah.
you get to see all these extra Terminator models. They're like somewhat obsolete.
Yep.
Like it's like the T700s, like these models that run around like in like poor looking human flesh.
Yep.
And they've been around for so long, like the flesh on them is just rotting off.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
They
awesome.
don't even look like humans anymore.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of my favorite Sam Worthington performances.
Yeah. And we get
Okay.
Anton Yelchin, R.I.P.
Yeah, Anton Yelchin's playing fucking Kyle Reese.
Yeah, it's
Oh wow.
not that bad. I feel like
It's Christian Bale's most growly movie easily.
it really is.
Well, that's the one where the famous audio recording of him
Yeah.
yelling about "You can't walk on the fucking shot."
Act like a fucking professional.
There's a scene later on where
Terminator Genesis made money. The production budget was 155 million. The domestic gross was 89 million. But however, it made all its money back on the foreign markets at 350 million.
Yeah.
Holy
And it's,
shit.
440 worldwide.
yeah, and
Holy shit.
the important detail there is that it's produced by the same woman, Megan Ellison, who's behind Annapurna.
Megan and David.
Yeah,
Ellison.
Megan and David Ellison, who were the founders, or their father founded Oracle, I believe. Correct?
Okay.
Yeah, so they have money, but not enough money where they can just go off and make a Terminator sequel with that low of a return on investment.
Yeah.
And then you also have to consider marketing for that movie is at least like $50 to $100 million. So they kind of
Oh, you mean the
lost
marketing
money?
that ruined the big reveal in the movie? Good job, guys. Good.
you mean hold on, you mean the marketing that told me the plot of the film?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you didn't
pretty
know
much.
you didn't know Matt Smith was going to be in it, so that's a plus.
Well, I did know Matt.
Yeah, I
Smith was
did
in it.
actually because
I did
Entertainment
because
Weekly.
he was in the cover of Entertainment Weekly, and he
That's
was when
right,
the
he
was announced,
was.
and I was stoked because I wanted to see Matt Smith in movies, and then he
Yeah.
was reduced to a glorified cameo.
Yeah.
I'm Genesis.
Salvations, I would ratch Salvations over Terminator Genesis any fucking day of the week.
He-
But yeah,
here's
Well,
the
that-
thing.
there's a scene towards
That
the end
and
of
Genesis
Salvation.
had Jai Courtney in it, so there you go.
Here's the thing.
Oh, yes,
Courtney's
the
not-
non-Tom Hardy.
Jai Courtney,
Non-Hardy.
he's not the worst part of that movie. At all.
Really?
No.
I find that hard to believe.
No. Jason Clarke is the worst part of that movie. Period.
That's a shame.
And
Yeah.
which is it's just sad
How
because
do you waste that guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the story is dumb and not cool. Like I don't
It's
want to see
not.
fucking John Connor become the bad guy. That's lame. But there's
Yeah.
a scene towards the end of Salvation that will make anyone laugh, and it's the height of Christian Bale's Batman voice. like it's right before they fight a T-800 Arnold Schwarzenegger model. He sees his little girl, and I think he like wants to say like, "You come with me," because he needs to help her. Instead, he points at her and goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He just yells this poor girl.
Yep. But yeah, no.
He goes full Hulk Hogan.
But so here's the thing. So let's actually talk about the new movie.
There is Linda Hamilton and Arnold come back.
Yes, that is a thing that's happening. Tim Miller is directing it. James Cameron and David Ellison are producing it.
Here's the thing. James Cameron, like, put his stamp of approval on Genesis, so I don't trust his word for anything anymore.
I don't trust his word, but hearing the word producer does mean something to me. Because I don't know. I'm willing to believe that he actually had involvement if he's going to put his name on the movie, not just a video before it comes out. Because, like, he put his name on Terminator 3, but it's buried. He's not even a producer. He's an executive producer on that movie. Which means he came up with the title and wrote a story pitch years ago. And he's done nothing since. Like, that's the extent of that, probably.
I like to imagine he was asked to be a producer on this movie while he was ordering something for a craft services on the set of Avatar 2 and 3. Where they're just like, James, do you want some eggs with that? Yeah. Do you want to be a producer? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I don't know if this will be good. But I trust Tim Miller also.
Of Lord Miller fame?
No, of Deadpool fame.
Okay.
Yeah, I trust him, even though I don't think Deadpool is, like, amazing. I remember being impressed by what it was because I went in with very low expectations. Like, I didn't think Deadpool would be good at all. Period.
Nobody did.
Like, I thought it was gonna be terrible. Like, the marketing was good.
I expected it to be another Fox X-Men movie.
Yeah, same. Like, I was like, okay, this is good marketing, but is the movie actually going to be watchable?
Yeah, and here, I'm not worried about Tim Miller. I'm not worried about any talent involved. I'm worried about, like, how the fuck do you map out this Terminator series now that you've contradicted and erased and retconned so many different fucking things at this point. This is the most confusing sci-fi series I've ever seen.
Yeah,
so this
that's a good point, Chris. Just start over.
This is the weird thing. I totally agree with that angle, by the way. If it's me, I go with the pitch that they had years ago, which is just do the Terminator, but with The Rock as the Terminator, which was a thing that was in development. I'm still into that. Like, sign me up.
Here's the thing, and like Arnold is so old at this point, like watching him do action sequences, like I know that's not you, so I don't really care.
Yeah. Genesis was CGI Arnold.
Yeah. Like.
Oh yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah. But no, here's the thing. This one is taking sort of that new Halloween approach, which is, okay, everything after Terminator 2 doesn't exist, which is
okay,
kind of what Genesis did. I guess. I
think so, sure.
Genesis was like... No, Genesis was something happened that changed the course of events in Terminator 1. Right?
And explaining it is impossible because, like, they even try to in the film, and it's the most confusing back and forth nonsense.
Right. It's here's the thing. Genesis rips off Star Trek 2009.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is a really bad choice because Star Trek 2009 got away with that by the skin of its teeth.
Yeah.
And then they milked it in the next movie.
My name is Khan. The whole audience is like, fuck you. Of course, duh.
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah, we didn't...
We knew back when Benicio del Toro was supposed to be playing you.
Yeah, now we're just angry that you're white. Because Khan is
Noonien Singh,
Indian. He's an Indian man.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
He was played by a
British man
Latino
available
in the 80s, which was fine because it was the 80s, and the character was originally cast in the 60s. He's grandfathered in. Grandfathered in racism. So, okay, fine, and at least he's a Latino actor getting a job.
I don't have much to say about this, like,
I don't know.
because it's just so wait and see at this point. Like, what are you gonna do that is gonna make people care? Because at this point,
agree.
I feel like you have burned up all the goodwill that this series had at some point.
True.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, I love
this at this point.
Mackenzie
This is where
Davis.
most series go to die on
Yeah.
direct-to-video releases.
Yeah, I agree. But because it's Terminator, and they all make like minimum in the hundreds of millions of dollars, it still gets extra lives somehow. But like, here's the thing: I love Mackenzie Davis. I've been watching *Halt and Catch Fire* since the beginning. Every movie that she shows up in, I cheer a little bit because I'm like, "Yay, Mackenzie!" But that didn't change anything when Daenerys Targaryen was in the last Terminator, and it didn't change anything when Batman was in the Terminator before that one.
Nope.
So
They can throw.
Batman Terminator is a movie I'd watch.
They can throw
same, actually.
Edward. They can throw Edward Furlong in there, and I still would be like, "All right, well, I mean, what do you got?" Because this isn't going to help. This is just.
I don't
they
know
are
if they
just
have enough.
there.
I don't know if they have enough makeup to cover up whatever drugs he's on that would cause all types of facial scarring.
Oh my God, he looks terrible.
I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just guessing at this point.
So Dune.
Yeah, that's unless there was another news story that I left out. Our last
I think that's
extras
it.
Dune.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
yeah.
I
Denny-
think the only way to do Dune
Yeah.
is multiple
Yes.
movies because it's so. I've never read Dune, but just from watching the original movie with Kyle MacLachlan, like that is a dense, weird ass story that you cannot tell over the course of a film.
Well, it's 1,000
and I'd say-
pages. The book, right? Like close to that.
No, the first book really isn't that long. I want to say
Okay.
it's only like 400 pages or so. That's the thing is like the first 3 books of Dune make a very good single story. Like it's Dune, God Emperor of Dune, and Children
Yeah.
of Dune, I think. I
412.
can't remember this second one.
Okay.
And then there's like a 4th one after that, and that was like all the ones that Herbert wrote, Frank Herbert
Right.
wrote. Everything after that was stuff by his son, which no, stay away. But I mean, even the first.
I'm just mad that we still haven't gotten what is his name?
Jodorowsky's.
Oh God, that.
Well,
never.
I mean,
Yeah.
over time,
Never
we
gonna
kind
happen.
of have gotten his
Yeah.
version.
Because hasn't his concepts been just like lifted and
Yeah,
borrowed for everything?
Yeah. Anybody who hasn't seen the documentary Jodorowsky's Dune, that documentary explores the failed development process.
You just get a peek at this movie that never got a chance to exist.
Yeah, and
What I want is the Dune Bible that Jodorowsky has, like
Yeah.
that gigantic. I want that thing.
Well, because
I just want to take like 3 days
Here's the
and
thing.
look through it.
From what I hear about Blade Runner, I haven't seen it yet. But what I hear about Blade Runner is that like I can't remember pronounce his name. He hit it out of the park and pretty much captured what Blade Runner was.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it underperformed like a son of a bitch.
It's
because
a perfect sequel.
It's the audience.
Yeah.
The audience doesn't give a shit about a high-end, slow burn sci-fi anymore.
Yeah.
Why do you think Annihilation
No,
didn't
they're
do
growing
well?
trees.
Well, Annihilation didn't do well because Paramount fucked it.
Yeah, they didn't even try. They really.
Yeah.
They didn't. Here's the thing. There's a way to make those movies successful, but if your studio isn't even gonna try, then there's no point. There's no point.
Well,
whatsoever.
the way to make them successful is put giant dinosaurs in that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, no, like,
moving
there's a
on.
way. There's a way to make Annihilation successful. But the point is, Denis Villeneuve, and for those who don't know, Denny, and we've talked about him on this podcast before. He directed Sicario, he directed Prisoners, he directed Blade Runner 2049, and he directed
Enemy.
Arrival, Enemy, and a number of French Canadian films that I haven't seen yet, because I'm a dumb American.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
And gets the most out of whatever actors he's working with.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
I don't know if like we're at a point in cinema history where people are going to just embrace Dune.
You have to remember, like, this movie has been like, there's been one movie in 50 years of them constantly trying to get it
Yep.
made.
That's true.
And they
Yeah.
want to make multiple of them before even proving that they can have one successful one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hesitant to even like believe that they're gonna make more than one, and even then, like,
See, and yeah,
you're gonna
I-
hand a director a a full like 3-movie deal to make a movie
Fair.
that has yet to be actually proven to be trusted IP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But I
and
mean,
like
let's go
I'm
back
not,
in time and tell that to Peter Jackson.
well,
Right.
yeah, and see when James Cameron says I'm gonna make 6 Avatar movies, I'm like, yeah, I believe you. I just don't want you to. I don't want you
Yeah.
to do any of them because
He
James
said that
Cameron-
like 15 years ago, though.
I
And
know.
he said it as a threat.
Yeah.
At this point, he keeps McFarlaning us, and he's like, "I'm gonna make Avatar 2." I'm like, "No, you are." Okay.
Yeah, he's actually doing it.
James, we can't hear you. You're in a submersible.
Yeah.
God damn it. He's
This is the
raising
Can't
the
hear you,
bar.
George. You're in a Gungan pod.
This is the future of filmmaking.
But no, like, so here's the thing. I think that this movie will happen.
Yeah. I hope to God it does.
Because he made enough successes before Blade Runner that
I can see one movie happening. It's a matter of 3.
I don't. Here's the thing. I think that it all depends on how well the first movie does. But like I don't know, like all the players involved are what really makes me nervous. It is Warner Brothers, and I don't.
No.
At this point, I don't trust Warner Brothers as far as I can throw them.
And here's the thing: they will, if the first movie underperforms, they will abort that series in a fucking heartbeat, and
They will abort it and toss it at the bottom of the dollar bin at Walmart.
Yep.
And like I said, if you went back and even showed someone who's significantly younger, has different taste in film, the original Dune, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?
Yeah, but that's very.
Why does Sting have a cod piece?"
Even I know that is very. That movie is. It's as much a Dune movie as it is a David Lynch movie.
Yep.
More of the latter.
It's
More
equal.
David Lynch.
Yeah, it's very David Lynch. Like, yeah, it's the most David Lynchy science fiction movie I can think of. And
Of course, I'm gonna put a cod piece on
Right.
Sting.
And it's the movie that he decided to do in place of Return of the Jedi, because that was a thing that he could have done.
I don't want to make a Star Wars movie.
I think it's just he didn't want to be George Lucas's shadow puppet.
I wouldn't either.
Because apparently that's what Richard Marquand was on the first or on Return of the Jedi.
And I'm sure that's what Colin Trevorrow was on fucking Jurassic World.
Yeah, most likely.
It's also what Yoda was.
God damn. But no, like I'm into this. I like, and 2 movies make sense to me just based off what I know. I've been saying for years that just based off of what I do know of the source material, Dune should be a Game of Thrones like TV show.
It should. It's
Wasn't
that large.
Wasn't there a Dune TV show?
There was,
No,
but it
there
was on
was
Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi.
It was a
TV
mini series.
movies.
It was Children of Dune.
Yeah, and again,
It combined
it's
the
sci-fi.
first 2 books. Yeah.
it's
It actually did the first 3, kind of. And Arlen, you were correct. There are 6 books written by Frank Herbert.
right.
But that's the other thing to take into consideration is the first book came out in the 60s, and the fact that people are still hot to trot to try and get this movie out in a way that's honest and I what's the word I'm looking for? It just respects the source material to actually do it properly. Like I think
it
it deserves it.
It reminds me of the Akira situation. It's like there's
Yeah,
someone
very
God, no.
similar.
or a group of people in Hollywood who are like, we can totally make an Akira movie, and I'm like, you fucking can't.
No, you can't. It already happened. It was the animated one. Leave it alone.
The animated one is the only one we're gonna get that is even remotely respectful to source material
Right.
and filmable, because
Yeah.
it's a cartoon, so you can kind of stretch what you're seeing and kind of expand the visuals a bit. I don't think anyone in Hollywood would be like, oh yeah, and then he turns into a big pile of stomachs, right?
Right.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is the anime like that's only half the story. Like,
yeah, and it
they-
kind of and the anime ends at a perfect point.
Mhm.
I think because if you go too far into that, you'd be like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I already had to watch the big massive tumors fucking eat people and open up a black hole, and then Akira is consciousness. What is this movie?
God damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
But no, Dune is, I think, rife for an amazing film, and I think this director is the right one. If he's given the support, I think it could be an amazing group of films.
I think he'll get it for at least one movie, definitely.
I sadly think Warner Brothers is going to Dark Tower this.
Oh yeah, yeah, most likely. Yeah.
I hope not. Well,
yeah, I can't wait to hear trap music over the trailer for it. It'll be great.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Warner Brothers, they do have respect for directors on some level, but it's just, we'll see. We will see.
I feel like with him making Blade Runner, he might actually be able to get the time and space and money he needs to make the film if he wants to make the film.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because they're going to be like, oh, it's sci-fi. He knows sci-fi because he made us all this money.
Here's the thing. Like, you'd think that because George Miller made the first 3 Mad Max movies that he would make Fury Road, and the studio would be like, cool, all right, go away now. Here's your money. No, instead they're in a lawsuit now because apparently Warner Brothers is trying to fucking fuck him on pay. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
because of decisions they made.
Yeah, that's true. That's totally fair. But at the same time, they totally want a Furiosa movie. Like, they're all in on that. Like, they know that if they make a Furiosa movie, it will do better than Fury Road did. Like, they have some
but it won't
analyst
be better.
that tells them. No, here's the thing. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. But they know that they can make money there, so they're gonna do it at some point. It's gonna happen.
They better fucking hurry up. George Miller is not exactly a spring chicken.
That's the other thing.
Like, grandpa, like he's.
The thing is, though,
he could do it now.
If all the stories that you hear about behind the scenes of Fury Road are as crazy as they sound, I think as he gets older, he'll just get more maniacal and evil behind the scenes. Just be like, oh, we're gonna fill you with rats. What? Right. No, just start eating. Just start eating. Just get them down. Don't chew.
Take these rats, swallow them one by one.
Exactly. It's a very important scene. No, we'll fix you. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Just
we'll
fix
it. We'll fix you in post.
I don't want to hear any whining, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Just do it.
Just shut up and do it.
God damn it.
Yeah, we'll see. It's like the Terminator thing. Like, we have to wait and see because And it's like with Blade Runner. Like, apparently it's a fucking modern day masterpiece, but nobody went to fucking see it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the curse of these things. But here's the thing: the movie got awards attention, which does do something for these movies. They do benefit from that quite a bit because there's a 4-hour commercial for the movie that happens for free every year. So that will help it kind of in the long run. And I think that's part of why he will be able to make at least this first one. Definitely this first one. And if the first one is a standalone movie, regardless of whether or not he gets a chance to make a second one, hey, we have one more really good, really high budget sci-fi movie in the world, and I'm not going to complain about that. So, yeah. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm ready to go, I guess.
Yeah. Me too. This has been a long recording.
I don't think there's any. Again, I don't think there's any news that I missed or anything that's broken in the last hour. So
I don't think so.
No. We will have more news when we do Jessica Jones.
And even if there was, I would like the show to end. So.
Same.
It's been a long night.
Yeah. So
it's been a long week.
All right. Plugs, I guess.
Yes. Hey, you know me. I'm Connor. You can find me at Movie Dumpster. Frankenstein Unbound should be out today. I honestly haven't checked. So that's a very good episode. That's a fucking strange-ass movie that I feel like Sean took very personally, which is why he made me watch Dungeons & Dragons. So there's that.
Yeah. AA Haro on most of the places. Arlen Haro on Vero. Not Vivo.
Vivo?
Yeah, spacecolombo.tumblr, Lost Horror Podcast every week on Fridays.
I'm Eric Fedorchak. You can find me on Instagram at Eric_Fedor. Cats, dogs, food, comics, llamas, things of that nature. I'm also on the Phantom Zone floating around. Ask me questions about comics. I promise I will do my best to help you. And if anybody's having any issues, just remember you must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. And the slow blade penetrates, motherfuckers.
Wow. Okay. You can find me, Chris, at Devo, unlike Arlen over there, and also in the back alley dumpster behind the Chuck E. Cheese with the typewriter.
When did you become this fucking alley dweller?
This destitute writer.
Yeah, a fucking vagrant.
After his car crash.
I sold my guitar.
Strange.
You mean the car crash he's been milking for a year?
Yeah.
Oh no, I crashed another one a couple months
What?
ago.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
I got it repaired though. It wasn't bad.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know about it because you haven't talked about it like you talked about the last one.
Oh no, the other one was an actual fucking.
I
Dr.
almost
Strange.
died.
I mean, have you seen the pictures? The car wasn't even in one piece.
I've seen the picture, but you spent a whole year telling us you almost died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was very cartoonish. I'm glad you're okay though. Anyway, that's the show, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck
Vandal Savage was framed.
Apocalypse.
Bye.
Oh my God.
He who
damn it.
controls the spice controls the universe.
The spice is being used by the deep state.
Oh no.
You gotta whip it.
The Fremen are people of the desert who deserve the respect.
I feel like
can't believe the
end of the Keenan and Kel show where he's like, oh, there it goes.
Bye.
Bye.